Wow. You know, sometimes with this club, you just have to just surrender. And that's what we should all do today. Just say you surrender and just forget about it, because nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing makes sense. It's pure foolishness that I'm witnessing. Pure and utter foolishness that I'm witnessing. So I surrender. I surrender. Honestly. Chelsea have gone to Crystal Palace and won 3-1. That doesn't tell the full story. Somehow Chelsea have gone to Crystal Palace and won 3-1. If I had told you before the game, you would have thought, what do you mean somehow? You should have won that comfortably. There was no Elise, there was no Eze, there was no Gurhi. That must have been comfortable. That's expected to be comfortable. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We made hard work of that, boys. We made hard work of that. The lineup, we'll start with that. I think most of us, including myself, didn't want Gallagher in that lineup, in that 10. Most of us, including myself, didn't want Gallagher to continue in the second half. Because let's be honest, in the first half, his role was pretty redundant. His role was pretty much redundant. It was a low block. It was a 4-5-1. He didn't really have any influence on the proceedings. We know what Enzo and Caicedo were there for. Not to say that they had great games in the first half either, but we know in that 10 position, we've got the luxuries. We've got the luxuries of Cardi Chukwuemeka. We've got the luxuries of Nkuku. So we've got other options. But fair play to the kid, because he scored 2 pivotal goals. I don't think he had a great performance. I don't think anybody had a great performance. You could maybe say Gusto was good. Palmer gets a couple of assists, but I don't think anybody had great performances. They had moments. I'm going to call it moments. And I want to be very clear with this, because we're off the adrenaline of getting the late winners. We're off the adrenaline of getting the 3 points. But it wasn't the performance that we were looking for to go into the City game. Let's be honest. It wasn't the performance that we were looking for to go into the City game, to go in with real hope. But we've got the 3 points. We've got the win. And we got to be thankful for that, because it was a must win. You have to come to this team and you must beat them. I think we've got a great recent record of them beating them in the last, run of games that we've played. We beat them in the 2-1 game a couple of weeks ago as well at Stamford Bridge, when Elise got the goal there. So I'm definitely happy to get the win. But the performance is definitely questionable, and it's definitely a concern, especially the first half. To have no shots on target in the first half. No shots on target. I had to celebrate a shot from Gallagher that was bobbling. Ball was bobbling towards the just past the post. I had to celebrate that, because that's all I had. That's all we got in the first half. To have 45 minutes against this Palace team and not show anything really, not show any substance, any intensity, any creativity. That's concerning. That's very concerning. The players, they take too long on the ball in the first half. It feels like they don't know where each other are. It feels like they don't have any sort of some sort of automatic response in their play. It's just very reactive, very we'll receive and we'll think about it when we get it kind of thing going on there. And credit to Palace, because I thought they set up really well today. I don't think they deserve to be on the end of a 3-1 defeat, to be honest. I think Palace are going to feel hard done by, because they were absolutely shitting on us statistically in the first half. Big shout out to Mateta up front as well. He really had a tough job to do today, guys. He had no help up there, running channels, holding up the ball. He had to cook Disasi for the goal. I think it was little step overs, little shimmy. It was a great finish from their guy as well on the long shot. So Palace really put the graft in. You're looking at a team that are already low on confidence. Their manager's under pressure. They got no Elise, no Eze, no Gurhi. They're depleted. And they don't have any creativity in their team. They're just playing a bog standard 4-5-1 with Hughes in the midfield, and with their new kid from Blackburn in the midfield as well, Ayew and what was it? Was it Schlupp on the wings? I mean, it's literally just it's dinosaur football. It's dinosaur football. It's T-Rex football, and they still managed to put up a proper fight. So fair play. They made us sweat. They made us really sweat today. For us, listen, we go again. We go again. I mean, we just have to keep plugging away. I guess this is a This is a second half where the substitution of, what was it, Nkuku coming on for Madueke, got Palmer out on the right side. I think the chemistry between Palmer and Gusto is something to take from this game. I think that right-hand side was a lot more fluid, a lot more natural. It looked good. That's where the goals came from. You know, they came from that side. So that's good. We managed to get a forward on because we needed that. We needed Nkuku to come on just to give us an outlet. I don't think he looks great as a striker. I said it before the game. We really don't have a striker. You know, if we're going to play Jackson on the left wing, we don't have a striker. We don't have a striker. It's definitely papering over the cracks, Z. 100%. I don't think any Chelsea fan is under any other illusion that this is a performance of papering over the cracks, let's be honest. But yeah, Nkuku, he wasn't really involved in the game for most of that second half. You know, you can see that that position is, it's stifling him too. He's not going to get involved as much. He's not going to be involved in connecting the dots. So he's going to be stifled playing there. Palmer's going to be stifled playing there. And we've just shifted Jackson out to the left wing, who, you know, can do something there, but he was also taken off. So it's a concern. It's a concern with the lack of striking options that we got. We've almost lessened our options actually after the window. We didn't really have great options coming into the January transfer window. We've left the January transfer window with even less options because Borry has gone to Fulham, and obviously we brought Fofana back and then sent him back out again. So that's a concern. But fair play to Gallagher. You know, when the time was right, he arrived and he got his goals. Like I said, everybody had moments, you know, in terms of the Palmers and the Gallaghers. I don't think the performance, I'm not going to give too much credit to the performance. Apart from, I'd say, Gusto, I'm going to say it's moments for most. It's moments. I'm not going to overdo it because I watched that game. We watched that game. For the majority of that game, we were pretty damn poor. We probably had about 5 minutes at the start of the second half where we looked like we were really going to get amongst it. Then we went flat again. A lot of complacency. Caicedo giving the ball away. So yeah, to keep it 100, moments, just moments. And then, you know, at least when those moments arrived, they put the ball in the back of the net and some nice little bits of play. And Enzo's goal was a lovely goal as well. They're all decent, good finishes. Gallagher's finish is lovely, both of them. Enzo's finish basically sat the man down and then told him to wait, and then told him to wait again, and then wait again, and then put it in the top corner. It's a shame we couldn't do it in a better way, in a more fashionable way. I think we should have, but we didn't. So we move. It is what it is, but it is a kicking of the can down the road, people. We are kicking the can down the road with performances like that. Make no mistake. Against a team with sharper tools in the attack, we could have had a lot more problem. We had problems. We could have been in a lot more bother if a team had an attack. Because to be honest, what did Palace really had? They had Mateta, you know, IU. We know what these forwards are. They're not prolific. They're not very good, are they? They put the shift in though. They put the shift in. But yeah, and then there's a couple people coming off with some injuries as well, which is a bit of a concern. I think Silva came off with a knock, or, you know, little pull. Who else? Colwell was limping as well, I think. Gusto had to come off for Gilchrist. So it's concerning on the injury front. We already saw Badiashile come into this game. He's going to be out for a month. So we don't want to get into the injuries, because if we get into the injuries, it's going to be a long day. We're probably going to need to make more changes again for the City game. It's just an ongoing issue with the injuries. It just never ends. We're just in a cycle of chaos. So what can I say on the injuries? We just have to just take it, isn't it? There's nothing we can do about it. I don't know the reason for it. I've never seen this many injuries piled up, one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, this was probably one of Caicedo's most disappointing performances for sure. Most of the time when people criticize him, it's mainly looking at the scoreline or not understanding the fact that he's been left alone to die. Today, just a lot of wayward passing. I'm not going to lie. A lot of wayward passing. Gave it away too many times for my liking. I don't think, like I said, I don't think anybody was that good today at all. I really don't want to give anybody any praise. I don't think it was a good performance. I don't think the manager did a great job. To be honest, I just think we had enough quality on the pitch in the end to just find a way. we got a little bit fortunate, and we managed to get the goals. But I don't think anybody's really coming away from this with too much in the tank, to be honest. Was my prediction 3-1? Do you know what? I didn't even think about that because my head is so hot. I thought I had a temperature, bro. Like I said at the end of the game, like I'm so razzle dazzled, so rantangled, bro. I don't even know what my prediction was. I don't even care, but I'm gonna check it anyway. It was 2-0, unfortunately. So I didn't even get that right. 2-0 on the big six, I said. I think before the game I said 3-0. So I had clean sheet in my head. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a clean sheet tonight because they scored an absolute belter. But they deserved it. They actually deserved it. You look at that first half, forget the possession. Yes, we had 80% to their 20. Forget possession. They deserved to be ahead. They had more chances. They had more of a threat. Their game plan was very basic, very simple. Sit in 4-5-1, hit us on the wings. Mateta will hold the ball up and bring people into play. They're going to counter. And it worked because they were winning. So you can't knock it. You cannot knock it. You cannot knock it at all, man. Palace did their job. That's all they could do. I don't think they could have done any more today. We certainly could have done a lot more, but you know, we did what we did. Petrovic had to make saves. He had to make saves in that first half, you know. And they got themselves in some dangerous positions. The reason why we don't really maybe look at it as a danger is because they don't have the sharpened attackers up there to really take those chances. I think Mateta had a shot that was straight at the keeper. They don't have great attackers right now. There's no Elise, there's no Eze. So I'm not saying we felt like we were going to concede every minute because we didn't. But if we know what the attackers are for those guys, we know what those attackers are. They're not great. So like I said, they did all they could do. They couldn't really do much more. They could not do much more. Madueke, yeah, listen, this is the inconsistencies of youngsters. What can I say? I've said the same thing I've said about Mudryk. They're both worth the 30 to 35 million price range. One day they're going to give it. One day they're not. One day they're going to have a good day. One day they're not. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. It is what it is. There's not really much more to analyze. It's just was not a good performance today from him. It wasn't in one of his days. But again, one thing I can say with him is that he's consistently going to dribble past his man. The end the final delivery, you know, the vision or the decision making, that's always going to be questionable depending on the day. But the dribbling is always there. The dribbling is always there. It's very rare you see him dribbling and then he's just dispossessed and he's just given the ball away. Just wasn't as good as the performances that we've seen previous weeks. But it wasn't. I don't think he was any worse than anybody else. Put it like that. Might be highlighting him now because he had to get subbed off. He was the one to come off, but I don't think he was any worse than anybody else. I don't think anybody played well in the first half. Everybody was poor. So I wouldn't really be looking at him in particular and say, what's going on? What's going on with the whole team? What's going on with the whole club? Why are we in this position? That's what I'm looking at. Not really any individual. Like I said, collectively, everybody was pretty average. So, you know, that's why we had to celebrate late goals at the end of the day. So, so this super chat is coming in saying Madueke struggled, but the little chance created in the first half came from him. Yeah, exactly. This is why when he came off, I was like, I mean, at least you've got Palmer and Gusto to fall on, you know, because against a low block, your best dribbler is probably him at this point, you know, at this moment in time. Sterling is very, very iffy at the moment. In his performances, I don't think he's warranted a start, and he didn't start. Thankfully today, I don't think he deserved to. Madueke, you know what you're getting. You're gonna get dribbles completed. You're gonna get him going past people and potentially opening up gaps for others. So that's the bare minimum you're gonna get. He's very consistent with that, to be fair to him. And yeah, any chances that were getting created from what I remember, yeah, from him. So nothing to overanalyze. Like I said, it's not his best day, but it's not really that deep. Feel like Chelsea escaped versus winning the game. Yeah, this is a typical kick the can down the road. You know, there is a problem in that can, but we're going to kick it down the road and we're going to get to it later. That's what we're doing. It's in the title. We are surviving, not thriving. We are surviving, not thriving. That is the title. That is what we're on. We'll take the win, We're happy for the 3 points. It puts us into 10th, I think. It puts us into 10th position, which is nothing to dance about, nothing to even talk about, not even going to give it any attention. Just want to see how many points really we are behind 7th. Newcastle is reachable. As I said before the game, we're 2 points off Newcastle, who are in 7th. They are on 36 points. We are on 34 points. It's not a surprise because Newcastle were behind us a couple of weeks ago. And they've managed to get 2 wins out of the last 3 games. Brighton, right next to us, a point ahead. West Ham, 2 points ahead. 7th is looking like the pinnacle for the season in this league. Manchester United are on 41 points, 7 points ahead of us. It's tough to see a 7-point swing. If I'm honest, it's tough to see a 7-point swing. It's not impossible. I just can't see it because I know the game's coming up. I know we got to travel to Arsenal. I know we got to travel to Man City. I know we got Aston Villa away again. Tottenham still to play again. Manchester United again. It's just hopefully I can be wrong. I would love to be wrong, but the inconsistencies are clear. We lost to Wolves, for God's sake, at home. So, you know, who's thinking anybody's going to go on a run? Let's be honest. That performance doesn't really indicate we're going on any run. So, got to be humble with it. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Kick the can down the road. Definitely big questions again. Definitely concerns again. First 45 minutes horrendous again. Second half, the first part of it and the end part of it. That's where we can take. If you want to trim it, cut it, edit it out, the middle, take the middle out. It's disgusting. This waste of your time. It just went flat again. So yeah, there's not really much more to say. I must say, I'm not going to go on a long tirade. I'm going to keep it pretty short. I got Big Six after this. And I'm fleeing the country tomorrow morning to get away from the drama, to get away from the headache that is Chelsea Football Club. The manager, people were asking if he would be sacked if we lost this game. I guess we won't find out. As Kanye said, I guess we'll never know. You know, it's not going to happen. Obviously, he'll be there. He's going to be there for the cup final, like I said before the game, and then he'll be there. He'll be there probably after that as well, I'm sure. So we just have to hope. We have to hope that people aren't injured off the back of this game for more than a couple of days, because we need players for the game against City. We need everybody for the game against City, and we need to hope that we don't get absolutely destroyed. We don't get embarrassed. That's all we can hope for, unfortunately. I'd love to be able to tell you something different, but Hairline is in form again, back. De Bruyne is there. Foden is in form. Rodri is there. It's long day. It's pathetic that Chelsea need to rely on Madueke and Mudryk, both championship players, especially Madueke has poor attitude. I'm not so sure about that. Lost the ball and just stand there. I think that's a bit harsh. I think Madueke's work rate defensively has improved as the season's gone on quite drastically. I think I've seen a lot of hard work in tracking runners and making sure you track your fullback and whatnot. So I'm not going to agree with that personally. I don't think they're championship wingers, but I think they're wingers that desperately need a lot of guidance, a lot of system, and a lot of instruction. I don't think we can play this freedom football. Everybody do what they want with those wingers. I think those wingers need incredible instruction and incredible guidance and a system in place, and everything to work like clockwork. And it's not. And on top of that, as I've said with them many a time, they're not ready to be starters consistently. You know, we're relying on 2 young wingers with very little experience at the top level, if not no experience at the top level, actually, to be honest. I think Mudryk had a bit of a Champions League campaign, but that's about it in the group stages. No consistent evidence of output, no consistent evidence of, you know, playing at the top level under this pressure, under this spotlight. So a normal team would have signed one of them and then surrounded them with experience and then given them cameo minutes. A crazy club signs both of them and builds around them and gives them no experience, apart from Sterling, who is just as chaotic and erratic as a young winger would be. He plays the game sometimes like a 21-year-old winger as well. So it's crazy. It's crazy what we're doing. But we've already constructed the attack, so what can we do? You know, what can we do? It's a difficult day. We move, we fight, we live. I'm going to keep this to 20 minutes. I don't think it needs half an hour. I don't think the playback people would appreciate. I don't think we would appreciate. I don't think I appreciate. We just here. I'm happy that the rivals didn't get what they wanted, because I know they were queuing up. Then people were lining up at the door for this cooking. But we managed to kick it down the road, like I said. So we move, guys. We move. Make sure you smash up the likes, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for 75K. Much appreciated. Love and guidance. Appreciate your support as always, man. It's been a great kick on, really, with this channel now. Last couple of years, it's been insane, man. That's one thing I can say. The club might be mudded, but we are going to be playing Champions League football next season on the channel for sure. We will be there. Big up your damn selves. The next piece of content will probably be a video. It won't be a stream. I'm not covering any Champions League this week because I'm going to be in Italy. I'm fleeing the country. Like I said, Chelsea have scared me off, and I intend to run. So until next time, big up your damn selves in a bit, people. Peace.